We're recording.
All right, Presidente.
The cloud.
Is she here? Or should I start it? There she is.
Sorry, guys. I was tending to the puppies. Oh my God.
Attack, attack, attack. Attack.
I did not know he could jump up here. Anyways.
It looks like you have a tail fairy. That's very cute. You have a tail wagging behind you. It's very funny.
Appropriate, yeah.
Appropriate for the day, I know. All right, well, welcome to Fresno City Toastmasters. I'm your president, Farron Jacobson. I'm also a dog sitter, and I have 8 dogs here in my house. It's a record for me today. 3 of them are puppies. The other 2 are a year and a half, and then I have 3 adults. Does that add up to 8? Yes.
Oh my God.
So that's what I'm dealing with. So let's get started with our mission statement. It's in the bottom left-hand corner of your agenda. It says, we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. So keep that in mind as we go through our meeting of National Puppy Day. Should be quite interesting. We have one speaker, Denny Mason, who raises Japanese chin. So that's going to be a really exciting speech. I can't wait. Just some housekeeping. I don't think there's any new business, club business. Sorry about the barking. And I think we all know there's no guests here. So we all know that we use our jazz hands to applaud and applaud.
Yeah. Rena's here.
Really? I'm sorry. I will just turn it over to Sarah Dawson for taking over.
Rena's here, Farron. We got one guest today.
Oh, well, welcome, Rena. We're so glad you're here.
Join. Hi, Rena.
She just came in. So your dogs are actually on point for today because today is National Puppy Day, so they have to be enjoying all the excitement, right? So, how many of you are puppy people? By show of hands. All right, so we've got at least 3/4 of people. I am actually I'm not an animal lover at all by any stretch of the imagination, but I think especially when you see cute little puppies, you're like, oh, that's so cute. So Chanel she was the one that was supposed to be Toastmaster, and she had picked out, because she's always very good about finding things to go along with it. So she had a bunch of these cute little puppy shots so we can all say, oh, look how cute. And they get into lots of fun, different things as they go along and get into a little bit of trouble and look at you with all these loving eyes. So there's that. So we have these cute pictures of all these dogs, and even somebody who may not like animals that much will say ooh and ah. And I was just thinking, well, even if you're giving a speech as a Toastmaster, the same thing can be said. Like, even if somebody's not really into your topic, there are still certain things that you can bring out about it that can be relatable to people, even if they're not all that excited. So I'll just encourage you to do that. And I'm going to turn it over to our general evaluator.
And Sarah, before you do that, can you give me hosting back, please, as a Zoom master?
Absolutely.
Thank you, Madame.
You're welcome. Let's see. Maybe. Go ahead. Whoever the general evaluator can go.
Hi guys, my name's Taylor Frederick, and I'm the general evaluator today. And I'm going to introduce our evaluation team. First up, we have our grammarian, who will introduce our word of the day. That's Storm Davis.
Good
There he is.
afternoon, everybody. Word of the day is, here, let me see this one. The word of the day is called jurisprudence. I will put it in our chats. It is a science or philosophy law, or a body of law. And I'll be looking for that word in our table topics and speech.
Great, thanks, Storm. Next, we have our awe counter, Brent Paulson.
Well, thank you, Taylor. I appreciate that. As an awe counter today, I will be responsible for analyzing people's crutch words. And so to see if they use these words and in their speech patterns, if they lean on them. So more to report after the meeting.
Thank you, Brent. And our timer is Winnie Gao.
Hello, Toastmaster. Welcome, guys. My name is Winnie. I'm going to be the timer today. I'm going to use the screen to time our speeches, table topics, and the evaluations. For speeches, you have 5 to 7 minutes. When speakers reach 5 minutes, I will put a green screen. And when they reach 6 minutes, I will put up yellow screen. When they reach 7 minutes, I will put up red screen. That means your time is up. For table topic, each person have 1 to 2 minutes. 1 minute, I will put up green screen. 1.5 minutes, I will put up yellow. 2 minutes, I will put up red screen. And I will time evaluators. Evaluator time is 3 minutes. 2 minutes, I will put up green. 2.5, I will put up yellow. And 3 minutes, I will put up red screen. And at the end of the meeting, I will give a time report. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.
Thank you, Winnie, for always being prepared with those awesome backgrounds. And our Zoom master is Joey Myers.
Thank you, Taylor. This is part of the Toastmaster jurisprudence, at least became a part of it. And when we got on Zoom, it was even a bigger part of it. When we were in our in-person meetings, we would film using a camera our speakers, I think at the time speakers, sometimes table topics and things like that. It just gives another layer of evaluation to our meetings where if you did a speech or you did table topics that you can watch it back and see how you delivered it. And you can pick out maybe things that you did that were repetitive that might take away from the message that you were trying to convey. So that's what I'll be doing today as Zoom master. I will be zoning in on whoever's speaking. And for our table topics, if we have, like we had a scenario where we had 2 people that were pro and con, and we're able to put both of those together and just make the meeting look a lot cooler on YouTube. So that's what I'll be doing.
Thank you, Joey. And now our Toastmaster will introduce speaker 1.
Thank you so much, Taylor. We have an expert who's going to be giving us a speech, and Denny Mason is a Toastmaster and a dog owner and lover. In celebration of National Puppy Week, she will share with us her philosophy on dog ownership. Denny Mason, choosing a puppy you will love. Denny?
Hi, everybody. This is Valentina. Valentina is a Japanese chin, and who wouldn't love a puppy like this? Wouldn't you just see a puppy like this and look at it and go, oh, I just want to take her home? And you would get home and find out that you have a dog that's going to shed all over you all the time. You'd be cleaning up dog hair all the time. You'd also find out that you have a dog that you can't go to work 9 to 5 because they need you so much. You'd get home and there would be spots all over the place. You'd find out that these dogs don't train very well because they're like cats. There are some good things about this dog, though. This dog doesn't need to be walked. So I can work a 9 to 5 job if I have more than one, somebody to keep her company. And when I get home at the end of the day, I can sit down and watch TV and she can sit on my lap, and she's very happy that way. When I got my first Japanese chin, it was because I had moved into a condo and I wanted a low maintenance dog. I had had Australian Shepherds, Golden Retrievers, bigger dogs before, which chewed my furniture, dug up my backyard, my plants, my flowers. required a lot of maintenance, and I wanted something lower maintenance. Most of us, when we're getting ready to get a dog, go find something cute. Just like when we're picking out a husband, we go find something cute. But really, when we're doing big decisions, and picking out a dog is a big decision, it requires more than that. It requires really doing some research. And the reason I have a purebred dog is because it's easy for me to go on a website like AKC, which has a fantastic website, and it has something called Dog Breed Selector. And it's going to tell me on that website which breeds shed, which breeds bark, the care of all the different kinds of breeds. And it's so worthwhile to find out information about what breed would fit your lifestyle. Because believe it or not all dogs fit the lifestyle that you have, and everybody's individual. But when you find the right breed, the right dog, and it can be a mixed breed. It can be a mixed breed, absolutely. But I go to the AKC website because it will tell me the characteristics of maybe the 3 breeds that are in that one dog. And I can get kind of an idea of what that dog is going to be like. So when I find the right breed that's closest to the characteristics that I want in my dog, I have a really great chance of getting a dog that is going to fit my lifestyle, that I'm going to love, and who's going to love me, and I'm going to be happy with that dog. I'm not going to get home from work and find all my grandmother's furniture was chewed up. I'll get home and find a little dog who's wagging her tail. She's happy to see me. She went potty on the pee pad like I wanted her to. And everybody's happy. That's the beautiful thing. So I encourage you to do your research before you go out and get a dog, if you're in a position to do that. Now, if you already have a dog that you love at home, you are one of the lucky ones. I look at a dog like this and I know that this is about a 12-year commitment. So I want to put a lot of care and love into the decision I make about this sweet little puppy who is also very cute and will kiss me if I'm lucky. She's not going to today, but she does all the time. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Denny. Thank you for sharing your life and your puppies with us. That's really awesome. Next up, we're going to have Ty Martinez. He is going to be doing our table topics for us. Ty, take it away.
All righty, thank you so much. I'll drop this in the chat here. I am going to kind of take Sarah's direction from the last time she did hers. I'm going to give you a couple of different options here, and let me drop that in the chat. So one second here, and there we go. So we have two different questions and one activity. So what's been the most impactful advice someone has given you? Which activities make you lose track of time? Or would you rather and why, which I will lead you through. So do we have any volunteers? Sarah, you got a pretty big smile on your face right now. I think you.
Well then, would you rather? Let's go for it. I like adventure.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for playing. So we are going to find out whether you're an explorer or humanitarian. So would you rather be the first person to explore a planet or be the inventor of a drug that cures a deadly disease?
That is a great question. And just the basics of it, the humanitarian or the explorer, I would have a hard time with both because both are very much who I am. But when you put the medical part of it in it, then that just totally discounts me. So I'm going to have to say explore the new planet, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'd have to totally take that one. I I got to visit NASA when I was in the 8th grade and the Cape Kennedy over in Florida. I got to go explore over there and see it. And from that point on, I wanted to be an astronaut for a long time. I love flying. I love being in the air. I love looking down on God's creation from up above. There are just so many things that I would love. I love new adventures and being to go out and new places and discover new territory. So I think all of that absolutely appeals to me very, very much. I think one of the reasons I did not end up going that route is because I realized it was going to take a whole lot of work to break through and do that. And I thought my family was more important. So I wanted to stick closer to home rather than going off eventually and doing that. But it was a plan for a long time. And even I had an opportunity to possibly go to Air Force Academy. I was looking into that to be able to start my plan and be a pilot that way. But if you're a pilot, then you have to shoot people down. And the humanitarian side of me was absolutely like, I could not be responsible for killing another human being and shooting somebody down, even though that adventurous side kind of appealed. So I kind of took a different turn, and now I'm the director of a homeless shelter. So there you go.
Oh, well, there you go. Well, that was a great answer. Thank you so much. So you're definitely an explorer, and it sounds like you're both a humanitarian. So, all right. So, anyone else here? I mean, we've got two questions, and I still have more would you rather questions for you. Should I pick somebody? How about you, Farron?
Thanks, Ty. I'll go with the first question. What's been the most impactful advice someone has given you? And it's advice that my mother gave me, but I still sometimes don't listen to it. But then I recognize immediately that I should have listened to the advice, and I just need to keep remembering it. And that advice is to learn to say no without a reason. I always feel like I need to explain myself when I give someone a no answer. I'm a very yes person. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll do that. Yes, I'll help you. I don't like to say no to people, but my mom has always told me you need to learn how to say no and just leave it at that. This is how I ended up with 8 dogs today because some of my clients are like, oh, but please, I have no one else to watch them. And I think, okay, yes. And then it's chaos at my house. And I remember my mom's words and I'm like, I should have just said no. Without an explanation, without telling them, no, I'm overbooked. No, I can't handle it. I shouldn't have to explain myself. I should just say no, leave it at that. Thank you.
Excellent. I mean, sometimes you have to say no, just for your own boundaries. And I always feel the same way. I'm like, I don't want to give a reason. Maybe I just don't want to do it. So, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. So I'm not sure how much time we have left, but I definitely would love to
until 12:40, 12:45. So we should be able to get a lot in here because we only have one evaluator, so we're good. Ty.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, since you're already speaking there, Joey, would you like to participate?
Yes, sir. Let me see if I can set this up here. Pin my own video. There we go. All right, I will take which activities make you lose track of time, and I want to try and stay with our theme with the puppies. Make sure I have Winnie on my screen. There we go. One of my favorite movies, by the way, I didn't grow up with pets. I think we had a box turtle that ended up escaping somehow. We had a dog for a short amount of time, but the thing was that us kids had to take care of it and we didn't. So our parents did. So we ended up having to give the dog away because our parents didn't want to take care of the dog. So I didn't grow up with pets or dogs, but my wife did. And that was one of the things early on for us that we ended up with a little mixed puppy that we got from a shelter. They had this big event over at Fresno State and I couldn't get out of my favorite movie. It's A Blessing and a Curse, Turner and Hooch, for those who have seen that movie with Tom Hanks, and he's got the bull mastiff that he ends up taking over because one of his buddies who lived out on the wharf that he'd go as a detective would go and check on him, make sure he's doing okay. Own this dog, was a bull mastiff, and the thing was a big slobbering goon. And Tom Hanks takes the dog in. Dog destroys his whole apartment. He's a single guy and all that. So I'm coming in to take care of a dog with that in mind. So I'm thinking this dog's going to just absolutely tear up our yard, our house. And she did that a little bit. I'd get up for training people when I used to do fitness training, early in the morning, 4 a.m. And I'd go walk in. We had her in the bathroom when she was a puppy, and there would be just dog doo-doo and urine all over the place in that. And I had to clean that whole thing up before I had to leave. And I was already running late. So little stories like that, but she's been such an awesome dog. I've heard the stories of dogs digging out and escaping and trying to get out of the house. And this one, we could probably leave the gate open. And I think we take care of her pretty well, that she just doesn't leave and she stays with us. So she's just an awesome dog. And it's going to be tough to see her go. But as of activities that make me lose track of time, that is definitely something in a good way now. In the bad way early on, we figured each other out and it all worked out. So National Puppy Day.
Yeah, definitely. Way to hit the topic. All right. So let's move on. All right. So we've got some time here, so I'm sure we can pretty much get everybody. How about you, Taylor?
I'll go with the advice one. So I work for the government. I work for the U.S. Department of Agriculture, and I took a leadership course for folks who are early in their government careers, like 1 or 2 years into it. So it was a lot of young people, and they had guest speakers giving us advice, and a lot of these people were like big wigs in DC, like worked for the Obama administration. So they're pretty high up in the government world. And 2 pieces of advice really stuck with me. The first one was, do you want to be an employee or a professional in your field? And that really struck me because it inspired me to learn more and be better at my job and be the person that someone calls because I'm a resource and I'm a professional. And the second piece of advice was, don't let yourself atrophy in your cubicle, because often with government work, you have stability and there's not a lot of incentive to adapt and grow. And that caused me to reflect and realize that I need to always be learning new things and kind of challenging myself to be like at the cutting edge of technology and innovation and things like that. So those were my 2 pieces of advice today.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, it's good to not be stagnant, keep learning. So, all right. Storm, all right, raised his hand, let's go.
Yeah, I had a great idea. It was to kind of tie in the first one and the second one. I was thinking about, wait a second, do I stay on theme with dogs or should I try to look at this one? I mean, impactful advice for dogs. I don't really have it much impactful, such like impact for dogs or advice. They just don't mix together very well for me. But if I could do it, I will try to tie the 2 together. So the first one, what is the most impactful advice someone has given you? And which activities make you lose track of time? These go together with me. They are just like hand in hand, holding hands. It's like, for me, it is books. So I will listen to music if I need it for therapeutic reasons. And when you listen to a book, more than 1 time, more than 2 times, you start to develop endorphins and happy chemicals being released into your brain when you hear a book the 2nd or 3rd time because you are a new person. With this, it gives you life. You have rules, you have laws, you have philosophy, and the word of the day is jurisprudence. You actually get this through these books and everything else like that. And when you're listening to a book that you enjoy and you know something or you think you remember it and it's just a little bit different, you lose track of time. You realize that so much time has passed. You get a book on tape and you have this long distance. I mean, it's just big distance, and it'll be maybe a 2 or 3 hour drive because Los Angeles is 3 hours. I mean, I went to Los Angeles and it took me 4 hours to get home. I had the book on. It makes me lose track of time, and I learned some good stuff too.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing. All right. We're still good on time here. So Denise,
I could come up with something for all of these, but seeing as it is International Dog Day, I will talk a little bit about my current relationship with a puppy. My daughter decided a year and a half ago that she really, really, really needed a Frenchie. I have only grown up with mutts that have been saved. For example, the first couple of dogs I had as a child just kind of randomly showed up and, we collected them somehow. The first dog that I had as an adult was a puppy I found going to Walmart in Madera. She was in a cardboard box, and I walked past her, turned around, and I just knew I had to have her. She was one of the greatest dogs I've ever met in my life. She was an escape artist, though, and she wasn't destructive. She just liked to visit people. She went all around the neighborhood. She had a long-term relationship with the dog catcher, and they bonded. I then found my second dog on the corner of Ashland and Clovis Avenue, again in a box full of puppies. Told my girls I was not going to stop. There was no way we were getting a dog. Hour later, I have a puppy. And so I'm more of a cat person. So I've always kind of felt like that. I'm just not as, I don't know, cats are just different. But my daughter somehow managed to convince me that she could get a puppy. Now she's an adult, she paid for it herself, and I had issue with full bred dogs. And now I have justification because I feel like I saved her. No offense, Denny, to breeders, but my mindset was that I saved her from another breeder. But to be honest, she is my best friend. I come home, I lose all sense of time with her. I buy her ridiculous gifts and do ridiculous, weird things with her. It's completely unhealthy. I admit it, but she is just literally the love of my life.
Thank you for sharing. We all love puppies, right? Well, except Sarah, maybe. I saw her nodding. Sorry, Sarah, I didn't mean to call you out. All right. So, Denny, would you like to answer one of the questions, or would you like would you rather question?
You're muted, Denny. Denny, you're muted.
Unmute.
There you are.
I'll answer a question.
Oh, okay, good. All right, so we're going to find out whether you want the high life or the wandering life here. So would you rather travel the world for a year on a shoestring budget or stay in one country for a year and live in luxury?
I'm going to change that around just a little bit. I would rather live in one country on a shoestring budget. And I've done it before.
Really?
Yes. So I spent, if I add it all together, I spent about 2 years living in Mexico when I was very young. And that's the reason why I speak another language, because I went to a country where I didn't speak the language, and when I would go to a restaurant, I'd say, with a fork in my hand, how do you say this? That's how I learned the language, out of sheer necessity and being exposed to it. And of course, the thing that helped it along was falling in love. So I was embarrassed to speak the language when I was with other people that spoke English. I absolutely refused to try to speak Spanish and make a fool out of myself until I fell in love with somebody who didn't speak English, and then it all came out. I learned so much living in one country. Money wasn't real. I was young, so I didn't think about money too much. It was just if I had enough. And I learned the culture, the people that were so kind to me, that fed me and took care of me and all those things. I just learned a whole side of the Mexican culture that I fell in love with. I love the big family aspect and the eating together aspect and so many things about it. And that has stayed with me my whole life. The one thing that was negative that also stays with me my whole life, there's never one time that I take a hot bath that I don't say, God, thank you for letting me live in the United States. I could never fill a bathtub with hot water in Mexico.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you for sharing. I feel grateful for bathtubs too and hot water. So, all right, I think we have about time for one more maybe?
Yeah.
Brent, would you love to participate here?
Sure, thank you, Ty. The best advice I've ever gotten is when somebody told me, make sure you love what you do because you never work a day in your life if you love what you do. So I know giving a speech with some adjuster training this last week, that's one thing I tried to instill with the adjusters is love what you do. We might take it all in small doses, whether it be out in the orchard and watching the sunrise or the sunset in the backdrop of the mountains, or as Taylor, with being in agriculture, you might see a baby calf in a pasture as the sun sets. Just anything that brings you joy, whether it be work or your family, it makes life worthwhile. We also take care of dogs like Baron does. So that job has been actually very rewarding. And you get into a lot of predicaments that you just look back and laugh at. And since moving out here to California, we haven't laughed near as hard since we started taking care of the dogs, just because of all the crazy situations they put us in. In fact, just before the meeting, my wife told me to look at the backyard. One of our puppies ripped up the irrigation system. So I know what I'm doing this weekend.
Yeah.
That being said, you have to take it all in. Life's short. And just like it said, you love what you do. You never work a day in your life. Life's short, so love what you do.
Well, thank you. That's very poignant. I appreciate that. All right. I think we're about out of time. So I want to thank everyone for giving those meaningful answers, and I appreciate it. And I'll let, I'm not sure who's up next, but thank you.
I am next, and I'm introducing the evaluator, and that's Denise.
Me again. Denny, bringing a puppy to Toastmasters. What a great day. You're very lucky. I wish I could be home with my grand puppy all day long. Denny has always got this energy and flair to her speeches that just always make them very joyful. Little things that stand out. Starting your speech with your back turned so you could reveal the puppy. Little things like that, Denny, are always so well received, and I just think add a little something special to your speeches every single time. It was really hard to stay focused on what you were saying because that puppy is so adorable and I could not stop looking at her. And so the things that did stand out for me, though, were the facts that you laid out about how important it is to know the kind of dog that you're going to get. I heard terrible stories of people who have to, give away their dog because it didn't fit with their kids or their lifestyle. So those were really helpful tools. And that's always something good to bring to a speech, something that's going to be useful for people. So I really appreciated that. You can just see how much you loved what you do by the expression on your face. Your eye contact is always great. There was a little connection issue that obviously isn't your fault. That's a tech thing. Unfortunately, in this day and age, we can't avoid those things, or we can't control them. But overall, I just thought it was really fun to have a different speech like this. And I loved, you had I'm going to say it, the best prop we've ever had at a Toastmaster meeting. So great job.
Thank you, Denise.
Thanks, Denise. Now we'll have Winnie with the timer report.
Okay, thank you. For the speaker, Danny, time is 4 minutes 55 seconds. Evaluator, Denise, time is 2 minutes 5 seconds. Table topic, Sarah is 1 minute 45 seconds. Farron is 1 minute 1 second. Joy is 2 minutes 11 seconds. Taylor 1 minute 35 seconds. Storm is 1 minute 40 seconds. Denise 2 minutes 30 seconds. Danny 2 minutes 6 seconds. Brent 1 minute 40 seconds. This is my report. Thank you.
Thanks, Winnie. We have our counter report given by Brent.
Thank you, Taylor. Overall, everyone did very well today. Joey had one quick so. Taylor had one so I, 2 likes, and 1 ah. Denise had a and so real quick, and I believe I caught myself saying ah twice. So.
Great. And we have Storm with the grammarian report.
Thank you, Taylor. So we had the word of the day was jurisprudence. We got Joey right off the bat with that word of the day, and I did too. And good luck to everybody else next time. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Storm. I'll give the general evaluation of the meeting. We started a little bit late, I believe at 12:08. And we had a great speech by Denny. And I'm going to request that she always hold her dog for all of her future speeches because it's just too cute. I was having a stressful day and that thing just totally cheered me up. I think everyone did really well, and Ty had really great table topics and really thought-provoking questions. So good job. And I'll turn it over to Farron.
Thank you, Taylor. I agree. It was a really awesome, fun meeting. You guys saw, I think, 2 of the puppies so far. You guys want to see more puppies since we have time? Yeah, puppies. Okay. This is Reese. He's an Australian cattle dog, and he's 15 weeks. And I would never own a dog like this. I love Denny's speech because it's so true. I get to see all of the breeds, and so now I know exactly which kind of dogs I want and what I don't want. This is a Maltipoo. I believe that's what I was told. This is, what is your name? Sheena. I forgot it. This is Sheena. And he's not a puppy, but he's the one who was barking earlier. This is Rufus. He's 5. He's a Chihuahua mix. I would never own a Chihuahua either. There's one more, and she's the cutest. Let me go grab her.
I have to reiterate the point of exactly.
Okay. This is Kona. She's a husky puppy, and I've never seen a husky that looks quite like this. Look at her eyes. So adorable.
So cute.
She's here with me all week until Friday.
Her hair.
So that was.
I have to reiterate the point that all dog breeds have their own characteristics.
Yes, I would never own an Australian Shepherd or Heeler cattle dog. None of those. Never a husky. Never a Chihuahua. I think those are my 3 that I won't. I also have a husky, a big, huge shepherd mix, and a pit bull in the backyard right now, and 5 dogs inside.
We had a Great Dane in the back of a Zoom call one time, and one of my coworkers in Cincinnati said, "Oh my God, is that a horse or a dog?"
Aww.
Let me tell you something about Frenchies that I never would have suspected. They can jump. Our puppy can, she's not really a puppy anymore, but I guess she is. She can almost jump onto the kitchen counter. Like if she just knew that if she put pressure on her front feet, she could like be on the counter, and it's amazing. You know.
I have lots of counter surfers here. They're really tall dogs. They'll get up and get anything that's on the kitchen counter. It's crazy.
I have this on my desk because I can't bring her to work with me. Unhealthy, I'm telling you.
All right, let's sing to Denise because her birthday is on Saturday.
Hey.
Yay! Okay, we get to Zoom sing happy birthday. Ready? Go. Happy birthday
to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy
Birthday
to
to
you.
Happy birthday to you.
Oh gosh, I hope you're recording that, right?
My husband and I call people and we sing like that, and I call it my heart-wrenching rendition of happy birthday.
Thank you, everybody. That was cute.
Got it. And I found out on the Zoom side, you got to get everybody in grid view when you do that, because it was getting really hard to look at other people's faces and get in sync in the singing.
Awesome. Let's see. Virtual sticker goes to Sarah for jumping in last minute and taking over Toastmaster. And another one to Denny for her speech, of course. I think that's all. And we can fill in next week's agenda. We meet on March 30th. The theme is Fool Me Once. Do we have anyone who wants to be Toastmaster that day?
So I won't be able to make that one. We're going to be out of town.
Okay.
I think I can do it.
Okay, Taylor, thank you. Speakers, Sarah Dawson and Ty Martinez. You guys still good to go?
Yeah.
Cool. And would anyone like to evaluate either of those speeches? I can do one of them.
There's every likelihood I will be out of town as well.
Okay. Winnie, would you like to evaluate?
I'm not sure I can join tomorrow, the next week. I'm not sure.
What about Storm?
What do I do?
Evaluation of a speech? You've given more than 3 speeches, so you are eligible.
Do it.
And I can. I was looking at Joey's, so I'm in a grid view. I look over at Joey, but he can't.
He waits for me to throw him into the fire.
Yes, yes. All right. What?
Do it.
Yeah, I have you down, Storm, as evaluator.
Evaluator.
Table topics master, anybody? Or general evaluator?
Karen, I want to volunteer for everything, but I just next week might be crazy. So I'll take a tiny role in case for some reason I have to cancel.
Okay.
Maybe timer for Denise.
Yeah. Go ahead, maybe.
All right. I'll be the Zoom master as well. So we just have table topics master, general evaluator, grammarian, and awe counter.
I need to do some double roles.
Does a person who gives a speech generally take on other roles? Because I can if need be.
We usually don't want you to, but if the meeting's a smaller one, then if you're comfortable with one of those, could be a minor one, like
Sure.
grammarian or something.
Yeah, do you want to do grammarian? Ty?
Sure.
Okay, that works.
That's the word of the day, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
You'll just Google it. Just Google it, Ty. Word of the day, and then you'll
All right.
get it that way.
Okay.
Brent, did you say something?
I'll do table topics.
Cool.
Okay, thank you. And then Chanel should be there, so I'll put her as a counter.
Or general eval. Do we have general eval?
General evaluator, if anyone would like to do that.
We'll put Chanel in that one. That one's a harder one.
Okay.
So we just need
I'll just send an email out and see if anyone else can fill in.
a counter.
Yeah, and then April 6th, I have Brent and Chanel speaking. Brent, are you still good for that? April 6th, okay. And then would anyone like to schedule a speech for April 13th? Everyone's being shy. Okay.
You can put me down. Put me down, Farron.
Put you down? Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, Jim. Got it.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna schedule myself too, since I didn't speak today when I was supposed to. Awesome. Well, we're still early. Any comments, questions, concerns?
Rena?
I just wanted to say hello and thank you for the warm welcome, and I really enjoyed joining today on Zoom. I was in Toastmasters several years ago when they had a book, and I was like furiously looking for my book, and I've moved from Riverside to Fresno, and I literally have like 50 boxes in my garage that are still not unpacked. So it's hopefully in one of those 50 boxes, but Sarah was so kind to tell me that there's no more books. So
Yeah.
that's a relief, because I was gonna take some time. And I do know Farron. Farron's an amazing yoga instructor. I used to take classes with her in downtown. I am a big downtowner, although I don't live there. I spend a lot of time there. I work for the city of Fresno, and I also own a creativity studio in downtown Fresno. So I'm
Cool.
usually there. So looking forward to becoming a part of the group.
Rena, what Toastmasters were you in before? Do you remember?
So it was the one that met at UC Riverside's, like one of their cultural things. I don't know the number, but I could figure it out.
No, so down in LA, in Riverside area?
Yeah, in downtown Riverside.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we're all online now, as Sarah said. Yeah, we got everything. Probably a couple of years ago, we finally got everything switched over. So it's all based on a dashboard, and we call it pathways now. So it's not, I mean, it's different, but not different. So just let us know. We have a bunch of our board members here today. Denise, you probably, I don't know if you've been in touch with her.
Yeah.
She's our VP.
I've reached out. Do I have your email, Rena? Or is this your first visit?
Chanel sent me the link. I
Chanel.
contacted somebody on Facebook, and then Chanel sent me the info.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
So if you want, my email is very simple. It's Denise
Okay.
at.
Please, Denise. Go ahead. What is it?
Yeah. Sorry.
I got
I'm
you.
gonna put it in there real quick.
Denise at, she got it.
And then I can send you some more information
Okay, cool. Thank you.
and the
She's our
application and
VP of
stuff.
membership.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Well, welcome to the meeting, Rena.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome. And thanks for saying that. I know that I recognized your face and your name, but I was like, where? And of course, it was you. It feels like so long since I've been in a studio that I don't remember anything.
Aww.
Yeah. Anything else that we're missing? All right. Well, then we'll see you next week, March 30th.
All right. Good week. Good Easter, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
See ya.